Welcome to another My Outlander Purgatory recap. This week, we continue our Season 5 coverage with a recap of the season finale, Never My Love. Ready? Then pour yourself a wee dram, settle in, and let's do this. Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
I'm Tracey.
I'm Carol.
And we are My
Outlander
Purgatory. Carol, how are you on this Saturday evening?
I was good until I watched that, and now I'm like...
Yeah, that was, I mean, we knew it was gonna be. It's Saturday evening here. It is the final Outlander, My Outlander Purgatory recap of the season. Are you sad? Are you a little sad? Season 5?
Yes, part of us, Tracey and myself, are like, oh my god, final season, it's our last video, blah, blah, blah. And part of us is like...
It's like every recapper, you guys, by this point. By this point, everybody's just kind of like, you don't want the season to end, but you're kind of, done with this. This was a tough week because we normally, as you know, get these screeners and have the recap done by now sometimes. We normally, watch the screener a couple times, do our recap, film it on like Thursday nights, and we're done by the weekend, and then we just hit boom, and we have it out to you by 9:01 on Sundays. That didn't happen because Starz was very reticent about sending out recaps or screeners, and so they did not release this last one until 8:00 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. A mere 4 hours before it gets released to the rest of the free world. So given how long Carol and I are prone to talking about the episode, by the time we're done with this recap, some of y'all may actually be watching it at midnight once it's released on Starz.com.
I don't really understand why, you guys, here I go already. It is just the height of Corona apocalypse, okay? I'm going to try really hard. I need to spray so I don't touch it. I have to say that part of me is like, did they do that because we're never, ever going to see Outlander again? Because the end was very...
Well, no. I mean, I quite frankly don't know.
When did they ever? Is it me? Like running the credits at the end was kind of, ooh.
Like, if anything, I would think that last week's episode would be one that you wouldn't want to, like, have in the public eye, so to speak, even though these screeners are not really in the public eye, but you wouldn't want it to be spoiled before the shows actually airs because the whole Roger Bree thing, and it was like, that was a real cliffhanger. Like, what happened? Where'd they go? And then Claire gets taken away. That's also a cliffhanger. Like, what the hell happened? But the other thing is, like, if you're so worried about like spoilers and like the episode, getting out before 9:00 Eastern Time, on a Sunday night, don't release it to the public at midnight. I'm getting a little annoyed here. Like, we have
any chance they're not going to?
No, they are. They are. They'd have a mutiny on their hands if they didn't. But like the point.
Well, they didn't have a mutiny from us.
I just don't. I know, because I never say anything except now. So now we're going off on it. No, the point is,
pocket Jamie for this conversation of Starz being less than
now. Like, we have, there's it. You guys who are in the media will know this. Like, you have what's called an embargo. So if you have a screener, or like I don't know, like if you're a movie critic, maybe you get the movie like a month in advance or whatever. You are not supposed to publish anything or say anything about it until the information is embargoed or forbidden from being released until XYZ time. So the information on each week's episode is embargoed until, I guess it's 9 p.m.? Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, because that's when the show is over. Except for the fact that you've released the damn thing at midnight, that morning, and it's all over the internet what's happened, so you've spoiled your own work.
Which is what makes me wonder why it was such a big deal for us not to see it.
Yeah, I don't know. And
I think it might have. I think they did the end. I think they ran those credits just in case.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Did I not watch all the way through? I mean, I didn't watch.
If there's going to be a season 7 or not, they could have ended it right there. If you never saw another Outlander on TV, it would have been okay because of that lovely last scene, that horrifying, gut-wrenching, lovely last scene.
Right.
Made me say, and then they ran. When did they say? Do they usually say Outlander? And then they're Katrina Balfe, Sam Heughan. I went, oh my God. That was so David. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, no, I think they've done that once or twice before. I think maybe they did that at Wentworth, where they don't want to, what you're starting into is so shocking and horrible that they don't want to cut for the, sing me a song. They're just going to, run it all the way through.
That was another thing. Her haunting voice, just her voice singing. I was like, oh my God. What am I drinking, Tracey? Is that what you're asking?
Carol?
The same as I always drink. But one of my children broke my wine glass the other day. And I'm like, where are the wine glasses Tracey gave me? I think they're in the garage.
They're in the garage. Wait, but I started to unpack them. I unpacked them all.
Were they white or red? Do you remember?
The glasses?
I think they were.
They're like this.
Tracy, all I know is I don't leave them all in the house because my lovely children accidentally break glasses easily. So I don't even know why. I'm not even going to give excuses. I was going to say it's whatever. Anyway, I only have 1 or 2 of them in there at a time because of that. So long story short, I grabbed one of these and then I went, hey, because I'm like, I don't want to drink out of this. I am a big fan of cold white wine. So I went, oh my gosh, it's May, y'all. I put my ice in there because when I go, I don't know about you guys, but when I go to a Memorial Day party all summer long, May, June, July, August, if I go to a party, I have my same old Santa Margarita, but I have it over ice. And let me tell you, you go to one of those parties that's like a picnic or something, or a barbecue, and it starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're still there at 9, 10, 11. Okay? You know what's awesome? Ice in your wine, because it takes you straight through the night, and you don't get loaded, and you don't make a complete and utter ass of yourself. So, I have been drinking a little Santa Margarita over ice this evening. Notice that Carol's not making a complete ass of herself like I have the past few videos.
I just can't. I don't like ice in wine. I don't like melted wine. I really don't. It's weird to me. I'm having another Groupon wine, which is this. I'm not really sure what it is.
Oh, let me see that label.
Isn't it pretty?
I love the label. Beautiful. All right, so let me ask you this really quick, and then we're going to talk, you guys. We're going to stop talking about alcohol. How much is the Groupon wine?
Okay.
How many do you... No, okay. Oh, my God.
What?
Just how many do you get in the box, and how much is the whole thing?
You didn't ask me that. You didn't ask me how many I get in the box.
Well, I am now.
You get 15 in the box, and I think the Groupon is I want to say 50-something, with maybe another 30 for shipping. But if you get 2 of the Groupons, then there's even a price cut. Now, maybe it's more 80 something. But when you get the 2 Groupons, it's 110 for 30 bottles of wine. Plus the shipping, so it ends up being, I don't know, 130, 140 bucks. It evens out to...
And how does Groupon pick the wine they're using?
Oh, I don't know. It's some wine distributor, whatever. It evens out to $6 a bottle ish.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
and some of them are some of them are probably $8 bottles of wine. Some of them are $20 bottles of wine. So, whatever.
I just stick with who brung me and the one who don't give me no headache.
Just checking in. How's the week? How's quarantining? Are you
Talking to me?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking to all of you. I'm talking to all of you. I hope you're
all right.
I'm
Week is fine. Let's get talking about Outlander because I don't know what the friggin' Vaz stands for.
Really? I will get to that. But I know I need to make sure everyone's okay. I need to.
Was it because of the beginning? Was it because of the beginning when she was looking in the Vaz?
Yes, that's the Vaz.
Okay, thank you.
That's the Vaz. Oh, we'll get to that in a second because I'm going to spend half of this talking about. Oh well, I should say.
Then let's start.
First of all, everything okay with you?
Yes, everything's great. How about you?
It's getting a little long for me. Like it's getting a little. I'm kind of done with it. Kind of done with all this.
Oh, I thought that was a given.
I mean, yeah, but no, I'm starting to be the point where, like, all right, I can just come to your house now, and you'll receive me.
You know why I'll receive you? Because I know your husband is just like me. He doesn't want to be around anyone, and I know you're very good about wearing your mask. Although that doesn't mean you're not getting that. That means you're not giving it.
Like if you're, you know, I'm sure by this point, hopefully you've gotten the pool done, because I'm coming over.
The pool's getting done on the 16th, I think. All right, come on, let's go.
All right. Okay. I hope you guys are all doing well as well. I'm hoping that this is all done. Maybe June, because I can't stand this and Outlander. It's too much to bear. So, Carol, what did you think of this episode called
My Love? I'm going to have that in my head for days. I love that song.
Did you love the episode?
This episode made me want to race back to the 60s and wear some white boots and sing, "These boots were made for walking."
This episode was just 60-licious. It was 60s-licious.
I love when they 65 Claire. I love it.
Thing.
I love it. You guys, look, it's my, I'm like that newscaster. Who was the guy who had the shorts on? He got caught.
Oh, it was Will Reeve, because he apologized the next day on Good Morning America.
So adorable. You guys, I'm seriously in
Christopher Reeve's son, by the way.
Oh, he is.
Yes, because, and I totally pegged it. I pegged it because he looks exactly like him. And he sounds exactly like him. And he's talking on Good Morning America, and I'm like, Will, wasn't that the name of Christopher Reeve's son? Didn't he have a little, because I remember, because Christopher Reeve died, and then the wife died like a year later, and it was a little boy that was left. Like he was 13 or whatever. Well, he grew up. This little boy grew up and became Will Reeve on Good Morning America.
Oh my God. Okay, so 60s first, Tracey. We see everything. It's like a splash.
Well, wait. You're skipping.
All right, she's got to talk about Tony Graffia. Go ahead.
What I was going to say was that I really loved the previously on part. Do you know why I loved it?
No, but I'm waiting with bated breath.
Because it was wordless.
Oh.
There was no previously on Outlander. There was just, lights up. And I forget if there was... I can actually see now because I have it up. Yeah, there's just this music underneath it.
I actually have it up myself, so I didn't want to interrupt to turn it up, but now I'm going to because you're asking me if I can hear it. There we go.
Yeah.
That?
Yeah. So there's no words. There's no dialogue. It's just that, foreboding music and all the scenes that have been leading up to this visual. And I was like, all right, you can turn that off now because it's hurting my ears. I was like, it sort of set the tone for what the episode was going to be. This is going to be an episode unlike anything you've ever seen before. I thought that was very interesting and very different.
Yes.
Okay, so then what happens?
Don't you want to talk about who?
No, we don't know. It doesn't say. It doesn't say. We don't get it. We don't get it.
Until the end.
I thought that this was a cold open, but it was not a cold open. It was a cold whole thing. Because no opening credits, no nothing. We just started. We start in on fade up on Never My Love, and possibly the most fabulous mid-century modern house there ever has been.
I want to know whose house this was.
And
what was with the orange? Now the vase was the vase that she saw in the window.
Right. Well, obviously it was Claire and Jamie's house. Claire, I mean, we find out that Claire is just kind of, you don't really know whether this is her kind of fever, beaten up, induced.
You don't know anything right now.
You don't know anything right now. You're just basically sitting there like, what the F is going on? What the F is going on? So
and then why is Jamie still from the 18th century? And you kind of figure out that it's a dream because bam, what's the guy's name? Lionel?
Yeah.
Gives her and it really jumps around at this point. I mean, she's like, 1 minute she's laying there, the next minute she's standing there yelling at them. But yeah, so it's jumping around all over the place. And then we realize, oh my God, like she's hurt badly and she's kind of coming in and out of consciousness and having a crazy ass dream about the 60s.
Right. So all of the jumping represents her mind right now. But you don't know whether she's...
I'll tell you what it is. It's her finding a happy place.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Like, you don't know if this is her kind of like sort of dreaming these weird dreams because she's half out of consciousness, or whether she is just focusing on... And I think it's a little of both, because, like, I think if she was focusing on her happy place, it would be Jamie now, not Jamie in the future. You know what I mean? Like, Jamie in the future, do you think Claire has fantasies about, like, living in the future with Jamie?
No, I don't. What I didn't understand is why is everyone else from the future, including Murta?
Oh my God, we have to break that whole thing down, because it was so great. It was so great. Well, okay. Can we first talk about what it was like to see Jamie in the future?
I loved it. I loved that they went back to original Jamie, short hair Jamie.
Yes.
That met.
Yes.
They went back to this really got me a lot for personal reasons. They went back to the Jamie she met. And he stayed the Jamie she met through the entire dreams.
Right.
The entire scenes with the dreams. Jamie was never from the future. Jamie was never modern day 18th century Jamie. Jamie was the Jamie she met.
Right.
And everyone else was from the future, which I loved. And I mean, oh my God, Marsali in the future was so cool.
Marsali and Fergus, wait. They were all perfect for who they are. This is the thing. They were all perfect. Because it comes they're just I call them the groovy twins. They were just so groovy. They were so groovy.
Groovy.
And Murta and Jocasta were like, remember how last week we were talking about Jocasta and her lover?
Jocasta,
it was like they heard us and we're like, that's who they should be like. They should be like that professor and his lover from Saturday Night Live, who I think I put a clip of them in last week's recap. Well, bam, there they are in Claire's living room.
My lover and I woke up a ravenous appetite after a night of outrageous lovemaking.
It's the professor and his lover. It's the Professor Murta and his lover, Jocasta. Oh my God, it was hilarious. But yeah, I mean, all of these like little subtle, like to your point, that the Jamie in this subconscious dream focused fantasy whatever was the first Jamie she ever saw. Whereas, yes, everybody else, well, I don't think Marsali and Fergus were older. I think they were just groovier. They were just like 60s versions of themselves.
How about
same with Murcasta and Murcasta. They were 60s versions of themselves.
Yes. And how about Fergus's blunt cut?
I know. He's so awesome powers.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
And then did Ian not break your heart when he walks in and he's a soldier?
Oh my God.
It was perfection. It was perfection. It was
perfection. Murcasta in the gold blazer with the turtleneck.
I know. I'm telling you. He was the guy. He was Will Ferrell in Saturday Night Live, with Rachel Dratch in the hot tub. That's exactly who they were. But that house was just so great. But then there's Claire, and Claire doesn't utter a word in any of these sequences.
Right.
And she's just so stoic. She's almost not even moving. She's just kind of taking in everything around her. And then, yes, to your point, the vase, that's from the very first moment of the very first episode. And it's sitting there, and it's like that represented, what she saw as the ideal world, and maybe that tied together the past with all of the people she loves most in the world to this time period that first represented home to her. I don't know. But what I was asking about Jamie in the future. So a little backstory for the non-book readers. Jamie, I think everyone realizes this, but Jamie cannot travel. We will never see Jamie, go through the stones. And there's, when people read Outlander, there's been lots of fan fiction written, and I should interject that Diana does not like fan fiction. She asked that people courteously abstain from writing fan fiction because she just doesn't like it, and I can't say that I blame her. But obviously,
she doesn't want a 50 Shades showing up on the screen.
Right. But a lot of fan fiction has Jamie going through the stones and being in the modern day world, the present day world.
I would not know. I have not seen. I've never looked at it.
I've never looked at it either. But that's I'm sure what a lot of the fan fiction revolves around. I too. I don't think you've read the book. I don't think you could have read the books without at least thinking about what Jamie would be like in modern day. If Jamie was sitting in your living room, what that would be like.
Oh, I used to say. I remember blogging and saying that the number one thing I would love to see Jamie's reaction to would be self tanner. Imagine Jamie Fraser saying, "You tan yourself."
You put the cream on, you tan yourself. Well, I always think Jamie would be like, "Why is everyone? What are these wee boxes, and what is everyone doing with them?" So you
Yeah, well, these wee boxes weren't as important when I was blogging, so.
But everybody goes there. But at the end of the day, it's almost kind of disturbing to think about Jamie in the future. And we don't go there. Diana does not go there. So the fact that the show went there is really about if this is what you're looking for, about as good as you're going to get. That was the biggest surprise of all this.
He wasn't really in the future.
Right, exactly.
And that might be why. They might have been being respectful of the fact that Diana Gabaldon never wants to see him in the future. He was in the future, but he was from the past.
I don't think it's respect for Diana. I think it's that maybe it's even that Claire could see all these other people, you know, in her life, in how what their roles would be in the future, because they're not Jamie. And Jamie, to her, Jamie can't be anything but a Scottish warrior.
True.
In his
Good
time.
Point.
In his
Good
time.
Point. Good point.
You know, it's an impossibility for her to see anything other than that.
But I also think she was trying to find a happy place. And I know from experience, you do go back to the original person you met, because it was so, it's just, you know, now it's, you know, bills and the kids and the got to pay the bills, and you got to, whatever, from Jamie Fraser's time, you know, deal with the fields, whatever. And, you know, life gets in the way, and all right. But when you first met them, it was like happy. Oh, wow. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's what it was. I think she was trying to find a happy place, and her happiest Jamie was original Jamie.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, I thought that treatment, because it was Tony Graffia and Matt Roberts that wrote this episode, and I thought that was just brilliant. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. None of that is from the book. Like, you know, it's been a while since I read about the Snow and Ashes in this part.
Actually, no. Oh, I don't remember. What did she think? Well, sorry.
I mean, we can talk about this part of the
done.
book now. We should say that, like, okay, it will be interesting. We should dial in Third Sister Jill right now and see if she's available, so that she can comment on what she thinks is going to happen.
All right. Well, first I want to talk about what I always find it interesting to see the books versus the show. A lot of books, they notoriously aren't quite as dramatic while you're reading the book, even though the situation is dramatic, because a lot of the time you're in the person's head. So whether it's Claire Fraser or Sookie Stackhouse, who I bring up quite a bit, because it was the same thing. In the Sookie Stackhouse novels, they were fun, and in the show, it took a total dramatic turn. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And this scene in particular, possibly of all the scenes, I was wondering, what are they going to do with this? Because in the books, if you remember, let me just preface this by saying it's horrific what happens to her. Obviously. Okay? Let's get the word obviously out there before anybody says, what? Blah, 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 blah. But what's interesting to for those of you who haven't read the books, you're in Claire's head while all this is going, and she's a little bit more conscious.
Yes.
And,
a lot
and
of more conscious.
Watching what's happening, and she's keeping such she's not nearly, I knew going into this that Claire was going to be more
detached.
She's not as witty in the show as she is in the books. In the books, Claire's always like, rah. So while this is going on in the book, she's like, you know, got commentary in her head flowing freely about this one and that one and this one. And I mean, even the young kid who the guy says, come over here and, you know, Lionel, I think his name is, isn't it? Come over here and do your business. Claire in the book is like, oh my God, she almost feels bad for him because he's like, so...
Right. Well, he doesn't, I mean, the point, yes, you're absolutely right. She's much more conscious. She's much more aware. Like, the TV Claire has really detached herself. Like, and I think has also been, like, it might be more real in the TV show. She's been beaten up pretty badly. And so she might be, like go veering in and out of consciousness. In the books, she's still beaten up pretty badly, but she's got her wits about her a little more. So, like what Carol's saying with the kid, that, like, you know, this series of rapes start, and the kid, like, it doesn't really, like, Claire's like, well, here it comes, all right, here we go, and nothing really happens because the kid, like, doesn't, like, the kid, like, finishes before he does anything, whatever. And I think that happened in the show too. I do think that you saw her kind of react a little bit like, oh, okay, yeah. I don't believe Lionel Brown like rapes her. Like in the book, it's very actually. I think what's his name, Donner tries to, but more because Donner's like, oh,
I better do this.
I thought they're gonna like wonder what happened to me.
Yeah.
But he does. Yeah. But he doesn't. I think she just like pushes him off, and she's like, "Get off me," whatever. And he does. But then another guy comes along, and finally does. But she almost feels sorry for him. Remember, because his wife had just died, and he's like talking about his wife.
Yeah.
And,
doesn't he cry?
Yes, he cries. So, and I don't know, like on the TV show, I mean, it felt like that was that like everybody had their turn with her, and either that doesn't happen in the book, or we don't hear about it in the book.
Well, a lot of people. I'm not even going there right now, but she in the book often throughout the series, not the series, the first book, will say to herself, oh, like, snap out of it, Beecham. You've got to blah, blah, blah. Like, she talks to herself and gives herself a little pep talk. Like, all right, now you're not going to you're not going to take that from him. So that's kind of how she is in this scene. And she's also not quite so beat up. Like, in the book,
she's pretty beat up. Like, they
pass her around, but she's not, in this, she's like, not at death's door, but she is.
No, Carol, you're forgetting, and I wasn't sure they were going to do it. I thought maybe they were going to do it in the TV show. They break her nose, and she has to, like, reset it.
Set it. Right.
She has to reset her own nose.
Right.
So, like, and this is in Roger's viewpoint at this point when this is happening, that she and Jamie are kind of off out a little bit, and Claire, like, literally, like, he describes her, like, literally taking her nose and, like, resetting it herself.
No, I'm not saying she's not banged up. I'm saying in the show, she's so incredibly banged up that I don't think it's only, it's before the rapes start happening. So it's not just a find a happy place. It's like, she can't keep consciousness. She's coming and going because they've beaten the shit out of her.
I think
they beat her up, but not to the point of not being conscious. She's thinking some witty thoughts in the book. You're not going to think witty thoughts if you're so beat up that you're coming and going out of the 60s.
No, you know why you are? Because the book, not a TV show, and the story is being told from your point of view. So you have to, like, tell the reader something. So that's why I think that she was beat up every bit as bad in the book, but, like, she's telling us what's happening. So she's got to keep her wits about her a little bit. The TV show maybe is more real about how it would really be. How somebody, it's like every show ever, like every, crime show or whatever, like somebody gets beat up and then the next day they're like, oh yeah, my face hurts here or whatever. You were just beat up. Like, in real life, you'd be in the hospital right now.
And that is my point.
So the TV was a little more real, I think.
And I knew that going in. I knew. I did we not, like, live through the spanking in season 1? I mean, we knew. I've seen the different seasons. I've seen the way they've handled things. I knew going in that that's how it was going to be. And I was there was a part of me, like, I don't really want to watch this. Because it's just different. It's just different. And it has to be, I suppose. I'm not a filmmaker.
Yeah.
I don't.
No, I mean, that's what we just said. Like, I think the book is, I don't think it was any less brutal in the book. But in the book, Claire tells the story. So she has to say something. So we have to learn. If it was, But
she's not in and out of the 60s in the book.
No.
She's not in and out from what I remember in the book. She's completely conscious.
I think there might be something in the book where it's like, I drifted off for a while.
Lost consciousness.
Or when I came to, there was Donner, like, whatever. I will just tell you guys, we, book readers knew it was going to be horrific. This whole section of the book, I mean, you know, it's horrific, but it's also it's like a page turner. But I remember having to be in Manhattan that day, like someday for a meeting, coming on the way home to Penn Station, on the way to Penn Station to get my train, and having a panic attack in the middle of Manhattan over, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Like, Claire, what's gonna happen to Claire? Because I was like right in the middle of reading this part. I like full on panic attack, and to the point where I had to be like, I mean, I was crossing 7th Avenue. Like, if you guys know New York at all, like literally crossing the street to Penn Station, like, oh my God. And I had to calm myself down and be like, these characters are characters. They're not real. But I was so freaked out by what was going on and what was happening to Claire. It's really brutal in the book. And it's brutal in the TV show too. So, but it was, none of it was surprising to us. We knew it was going to happen. You know, it's hard to say like it was so great. But I do think that technique of using the 60s as like Claire's happy place, safe place, subconscious place, whatever, with all of the characters and with Jamie like frozen in time and not quite in the future was just brilliant. Just brilliant. Just so
yeah,
so
I liked it a lot.
So smart.
I'll tell you what, here's another thing. And you're just going to probably laugh at me and say, no, it's not. But I feel like maybe that is what they did to keep you from being too heavy. You know what I mean? To keep it from being so god awful.
Right. I can believe that.
They brought you in and out of pretty, the 60s, everyone's having fun. They're whacking each other like the whack-a-moles. You know what I mean?
Like, but they're whacking each other because she's getting whacked. She's getting pounded on, and then she goes back to her safe place where they're like having a pillow fight.
Yes, so that in her happy place, there's no painful whacking. It's fun whacking.
Right,
Yay!
right. Did you, like, what did you think about no Bree, no Roger there?
I really didn't.
Like, did you notice? At what point did you notice they weren't there? When Jamie was like, and Bree and Roger are not here. When we like, here's a toast to them or whatever he said.
I didn't really care because it's not my dream. It's not my finding a happy place. It's hers. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I didn't really care. I was so taken with Murtaugh and Jocasta and
the furniture and that long hallway. It was very much like Ozark. If you guys watch Ozark, like, you know how they have the Ozark house is kind of similar to this house. The Ozark house is like a little more Frank Lloyd Wright-y, but it's still sort of that like mid-century modern awesomeness with a lot of windows and things like that. And that big long hallway, like into the living room, was just so great. Oh my God, it was so great.
It was bright. It was, so that sort of, who knows, maybe that was their way of taking us out and, you know, making it not quite so unbearable.
Do you like mid-century modern? I find I like it more as I get older, which is weird because like I used to hate it, but that's sort of like what we grew up with. So it represented like bad furnishings of the 70s. But now I sort of like it.
Okay. That's what I was thinking of. And that is what our mother is a big fan of, like burnt orange and like gold. And do you remember the basement? That black, like tufted leather bar?
Yes.
And those couches and those, boy, to have this stuff now.
I know! Those green chairs that we had that you got stuck in when you were a baby.
The coffee table that was like a surfboard shape.
Yes!
With the four little legs that, oh my God, you guys. Oh, we can find a picture, Tracey. I bet you we can find some pictures.
I know.
You guys,
I'll find that video of you stuck in the chair.
They were like mod. They were into,
That's like all of that furniture now that I think that we don't have it anymore. Like those chairs alone were like fabulous mid-century modern.
Right, but in the 80s, you were like, oh dear God, that stuff is hideous.
I know. Get rid of it all. Get rid of it all.
Oh my God.
Kill them all.
The bronze sun clock.
Yeah. No, I know. Kicking myself now, but, okay. So, all right. We find out that, like, there's just, this whole, like, first, like, 25 minutes is just, like, a whole mess of stuff happens. Yeah. And it's hard to, like, look at it linearly. Is that even a word? Because it's just everything's happening all at once. But we find out that the Browns, now I was under the assumption for almost the whole episode until I wasn't anymore that both Browns were there. But no, it was just Lionel. The crazy
No, but I
Brown.
have a question. Why was the ceiling leaking?
I don't know. Good question, because I have the same question. I wrote that down too. That's a little later, so I haven't quite like gotten to that yet, I think.
Oh.
But I'm just like, I mean, this is, again, it's just more like, I mean, we've only watched this once, you guys, so, you know, take that for what it's worth.
Did we see the guy from the future? What's his name?
Donner.
Did you know he was from the future?
Yes, but only because I know who Donner is.
Okay. Because
like,
the minute I
saw
him, I'm like...
You just sort of froze a little bit. Say that again.
The minute I saw him, I knew it was him. I was
like,
hey,
but I mean, we've read the book.
Before he said anything, he just, what was it? He looked different from them.
He didn't,
Did you notice that?
He didn't have an accent at all. He had like a modern day accent. And he's speaking like a surfer dude. He's like, wow, you know,
I'm gonna tie her up, dude.
yeah, bro.
And then he said something about the man in the moon.
Oh, yeah, because, you know.
And I was like, the man in the moon, when did that start? And she kind of went.
Well, I think he was testing her. He was
testing her to see what she would write.
Right. But I, in the books, I do remember being surprised because it's not that obvious until he finally says, have you is the name Ringo Starr familiar to you or whatever?
But you hate him. Because he didn't help her.
I know.
The little wussy man, and he got this.
Little wussy man. Okay. So yeah. So it's only Lionel that's taken her, not the other one, at least that we know of. But they've taken her because of this Rawlings thing. Now, I really should have read the book more. I should have reread the book more before we like really started this chat to figure out to remind myself why they really do take her, because I don't remember. But it's not about any of this Rawlings business because that doesn't happen in the book.
No.
And the other thing that I do remember from the book is that the Browns, Lionel I don't believe is like in charge of this. Like, I think he just happens to be there. It's Hodgepile that's like the ringleader of this whole thing. But to have Lionel, and I mean, again, this could be like totally in the book and I'm just not remembering it. But I just feel like if you're Lionel Brown, like, yeah, you don't like Jamie. And yeah, you're really pissed off at this Rawlings business. But, like, this is kind of like you're the reasoning seemed to be that they are taking her, kidnapping her, to bring her back to Brownsville so that she can admit that she is, in fact, Rawlings and expose herself as, like, you know, a harlot or whatever. There's got to be an easier way to do this than totally kidnapping the wife of the Laird of the Ridge.
Well, they're a bunch of dumbasses.
Right. Well, I know that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I don't remember what the reason was in the books, but I feel like it was a better reason and a more believable reason than this reason. Which to me,
sure it was.
Which to me is like, you're totally screwing yourself, bro. Like, they're gonna burn down your town. Jamie Fraser is gonna come and hunt you down and burn down your town.
I think they were a little bit too big for their britches, and they thought somehow that they were gonna get away with it.
I guess
If it wasn't for those meddling kids.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, Jamie Fraser is no like Fred and Daphne. Like, Jamie Fraser is Jamie Fraser, you know?
Don't underestimate Fred and Daphne.
It's not Shaggy. It's not Shaggy here. There's no Shaggy.
I didn't get it either. I don't know.
And you guys remind us in the comments, or I'll read the book, whatever. I kind of felt like the way it happened in the books was a little more random. And it maybe had more to do with the whiskey, but I'm really not remembering the whole reasons why. And I don't even really remember I think it was Hodgepile was the ringleader, but the Browns were involved in some way. Lionel Brown was definitely involved because he, doesn't get killed, and he does get taken back to the big house, and he does get killed at the big house. Not by Marsali, but that I do remember. But yeah, it was just weird to me. It was weird to me, and I was just like, how do you think this is going to end well? At all, ever, like, in any circumstance, I don't get, but maybe you're just that dumb. I mean, the brother seemed to think so. The brother who was back in Brownsville seemed to think my brother is an idiot, so, okay. Or was an idiot, I guess. So yeah, I thought that was a little weird. So they're taking her to Brownsville to confess. It felt like she maybe escaped at one point and then got recaught, which I think does happen in the books. It's all very dreamlike at this point. You're getting snippets of what happened. She gets beat up. There's, I guess it's maybe that Tebby guy that says she's a conjure woman. Don't beat her up because she's gonna come and haunt you. I don't know. La Dame Blanche, exactly. Yes. So Tebby, gives her some food or something, and he's like, you remember, like Tebby's a smart guy. Tebby sees the writing on the wall here. Tebby knows that this is effed up to kidnap the woman of
but
the laird.
Didn't Tebby get his along with everyone else?
I know. Well, that's why I want to know. Did Tebby end up getting killed by everybody? I honestly don't remember.
Unless he escaped, yes.
I mean,
and I still want to get to the leak. I'm waiting to get to the leak.
Well, I don't know what the leak was. Where does that happen? Where is it? Yeah, leak in the ceiling. I don't know.
Somewhat early.
It's right before the rape start. It's right before Lionel rapes her.
How about the whole Bree and Roger? Oh, they've been in a car accident. I thought that was sort of Frank stuff, sort of her meshing in.
Oh, well, and her parents. That's what I thought. Because that's how her parents died in a car accident.
Oh, I didn't think of that. I thought of Frank.
And she was in the car. She was in the car. So that's happening, But, I mean, it's all of it. All of it is, very weird. Maybe the ceiling is that she's starting to crack. Up to this point, maybe she's sort of been able to hold it together, but now she's losing it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's leaking.
That's all I got. So the guy tying her up doesn't have an accent, and he's sort of groovy. And then this Tebby tries to help her. I don't know that we find out if Tebby got killed or not. When I watch it again, I'll see if I can notice.
I don't even know if that would have been
because I feel like that needed closure in some way, shape, or form. But we also don't know if Donner got killed. We're kind of they do hint at that later when Claire talks about an Indian and did Jamie see an Indian and he didn't really remember it, whatever.
Right.
So then this is where we finally get a glimpse of Murcasta, Murta and Jocasta as I put the Lovah couple.
I like that.
It's the greatest thing ever. I'm sorry. It's the greatest thing Outlander has ever had on screen is that modern day Murta and Jocasta is my
I didn't even, I'm like, oh, Jocasta was there? Yes, I noticed, but
oh my
Murta,
God.
holy, I was like, oh, it just gets better and better.
I mean, at first I thought it was sort of Jack Cassidy-ish, but then I was like, no, it's with Jocasta, because I didn't see Jocasta at first. Then once she was there, I was like, oh, it's totally the Lovahs. Totally.
La
100%.
la.
Where's the hot tub? Where's the modern mid-century hot tub that they're going to go in? Okay. Yeah, Marsali and Fergus says, the Gravy Twins, Claire is so gray. Oh my god. It's like, you know, this kidnapping has gone on, like, certainly past 24 shampoos, because, like, she needs her natural instincts, like, too sweet.
Claire's like in the Corona apocalypse too.
So you know, what's his name? Donner, I guess, is, you know, talking to her, whatever, and he says, "Does the name Ringo Starr mean anything to you?" And again, I love how they did this, where it was sort of like you're Claire hearing it, and it was like, "How the Ringo Starr?" And she's like, "Hey," because
did you have a hard time understanding a lot of this episode?
Yes, but I'm saying that's because you're hearing it through how she's hearing it. So she's coming back into consciousness at this point. So she's just hearing him go, Ringo Starr.
There was a lot that I was like, what did he say? I don't know.
So she's like, huh? So she gets the second time he says it, she gets it. So she's like, you know, let me go. I'll tell you everything you want to know. Just get some horses and let's get the hell out of Dodge. And he's like, no, I don't think I can do that because, you know, they're crazy. They're crazy over there. She's like, fine, we won't even use horses. Just cut me loose and we'll just go. He's like, no, can't do it. And then they're like, you know, Donner, what's going on? And he's like, I'm just making sure she's tied up. So he does not help her, and she's, you know, back into non-consciousness. And you can see, and this happens in the books too, that the way they have her tied is around her neck, so that if she, like, struggles at all or, like, moves away at all, she's gonna get suffocated. And that's what's basically happening to her, because she's gagged. They've got her gagged too, so she can barely breathe.
Right.
And her nose is broken, don't forget.
Right.
Yeah, I put down, not really working for me that the Browns are taking the leads on this. It was just weird. So then at this point, we have a lot more beating up, and then the rape start. She's thinking about everyone in the future. There's no Roger or Bree. That's where I think I finally noticed that. And you see the vase. You see the vase from the first episode. And she's, again, just focused on it. And that's where you see the leak in the ceiling. Yeah, I wrote down thoughts on Jamie in the future. It's just kind of weird to see him in the future. But to your point, you really don't see him in the future.
He's not in the future. He's right. Never been in the future.
Right. She sees him. The future is around him, but he's not in it.
And he is comforting her, and she knows he will come.
Right. She knows he will come. He will come. He
is the only thing getting her through.
Yep.
He's got his arms wrapped around her, and she feels his warmth, and she knows he's coming.
Yep. So ding dong.
Get into full regalia before he comes. Claire, you need to hold on a little bit longer.
I gotta take my kilt out of the closet.
He needs to get his stuff changed.
And I can't find anything from the big move from the first floor master to the second floor master.
Jamie needs Lizzie to get out there and do some dunking and some stuffing. It's going to take... God. I just hope that if anyone's got me, that someone just throws any old pants on and comes to find.
Okay.
And I fully admit I'm about to complain about what I'm saying in a few minutes, so I'm not going to make sense at all. So keep going.
So then the real rape start. Lionel Brown rapes her, and that's like we said. The kid beforehand didn't really do anything, but Lionel Brown does. And then there's just like it just seems like this is where the TV was actually. I think that's where it was worse. And like I said in the book, there's 3 attempts that we know of, and 1 that actually happens.
It was absolutely worse. I do have to say, you guys, that I loved watching Jamie dance modernly with Claire. They were dancing, and it was like was just sort of holding on to him with her head on his chest, but they were doing the back and forth. Jamie would never do that back in the 18th century. You know what I mean? It was like a nice, it was like a modern, just a mild sway dance, but that I thought was pretty cool.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So yeah, so you know, a lot of rapes go down, and I mean, you know, people talk about the show and it's violent, and you know, that's just it's what happened. I mean,
welcome to the 18th century. That's exactly what would have happened. I was actually happy that they didn't try and cut it out and make it some flowery. We're not going to show this. No, they showed it because that's what would have happened.
What's interesting too is that I'm just checking this. That's one thing Donner says, that like, you know, you need to be more like women. Women in this time are way different than they are from the future. You know, they like, you know, their places.
They show fear.
Yeah, they show fear. Exactly. You know, you need to start doing that.
You know what Claire said to Donner?
You know what they also show in the future? Okay, so ding dong, and it's the 60s, and there's two soldiers at the door. Did you get who their identities were?
No. Hang on.
Yeah, maybe
I'll go back.
Maybe you want to go back again and watch that part.
No.
And they have news that Roger and Bree and little Jemmy have been killed in a car crash. The soldiers are familiar faces.
Wow, how did I miss that?
It's the one Lionel Brown.
How did I miss that? See, this is Miss Dougal. This is like Miss Dougal.
But now wait, are they the two Browns? Yes, there they are. There they are. I think it's the two. I think it's the two brothers. I think it's the two Browns. I don't know. I think it is.
Did you notice that they had Katrina in these like short little slingback shoes, like with the heel was like an inch.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, it must be nice to be tall and like often, especially as an actor, often have to have short shoes.
I know.
Because you don't have to be in these crazy ass high, uncomfortable. Oh, is that him?
I think it's the Browns.
Well, it's not the other Brown. It's not the other Brown.
Is that Hodgepile, maybe?
If it is, I'll be damned. It's not the other Brown. I'll have to watch it later and see.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah. So...
I just saw Jacosta's Murcasta. And Jacosta's outfit is like mom, one of her 60s outfits morphed with Roper.
The whole thing, the next thing I wrote down, all in capital letters, is this whole episode is like the hardest LSD trip ever.
It totally is. Whoa, though, how did you like when Lionel shows up at the dinner table in his 18th century garb?
Yeah. No,
he's at the end of the table, like,
that's coming.
Hey!
That's coming later. All right. So
later? What do you mean later?
It is. No, I think it's coming later, or else I just didn't write it down.
Dear God, I'm only 13 minutes into the episode.
So, okay. So, speaking of Bree and Roger, there they are. So, we're back to Bree and Roger. And yes, as many people, we did not come up with this theory at all, but a lot of people did this past week, and I was like, I am fully on board with the theory, which is that they are going right back to where they left off. That Jemmy is running to Ian because he sees Ian. Somebody actually showed 2 clips of the Stones, Ian at the Stones after they left, and then what the background looked like when they arrived. And there's a cairn and it's like the same. You can tell it's the same Karen. So I was like, I'm on board with that theory, and it was absolutely right.
You know what? All y'all had it. I did not. I didn't believe it. I was like, nope, they're not. They made it. They're not. And sure enough, in fact, they went so far as to when they first came through, she's like, we made it. See, they totally made it. And then next thing you know, there's Ian. So I want to know what the frick is going on.
I know. Because I think
this is another reason why I'm starting to wonder what the heck. And we got to worry about spoilers here too. So.
Well, no, I think they tried to explain it in that they were both thinking of home, but
Jem was thinking about the Stay-Puft Marshmallow Man.
Now that's a theory that a lot of people had too.
I just made my laugh so hard.
But the Stay-Puft Marshmallow Man didn't show up.
She's like, I was thinking about home. He's like, I was thinking about home. I'm like, Jem.
No, but people did say, people were blaming Jem all over the internet because Jem doesn't know anything but the big house. So that's what he was thinking of. So
and also in the book, Roger was around for this whole thing with Claire. So they hadn't gone back yet.
Right. Well, we said that last week, that they don't go back in the books until. And did you notice how like somebody commented that I should put the sixth book up too, because most of this episode is from the books from book 6, so we didn't have the ceremonial
because you're getting into spoiler land, and I don't know what they're going to end up doing.
Spoiling.
I am too. Getting.
No, I'm not putting it. I'm not spoiling anything. But it's not a spoiler.
One of us just said, "Should we run a spoiler alert?"
No, we haven't spoiled anything.
One of us just said something.
What did one of us say?
Well, do you want to run a spoiler alert? I don't want to say
because we haven't spoiled anything. Saying that all of this happens in book 6. It's not a spoiler because we said it last week. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. A lot. Jem, Bree, and Roger talking about
Tracey, don't try and figure it out unless just run a spoiler alert or just stop for a second. I'll tell you, and then it's a good idea. Just stop for a second.
All right, she's gonna tell me, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back.
Oh, we are?
Yes, we are.
I wasn't putting lipstick on.
Okay. So, yes, they don't know why. They don't know why they're back, but they're back. So, they all get in the cart, and they start going home. And they're like, should we make camp? Yeah, retire, or whatever. But, first of all, so they stop. I don't know, like, the ridge, the mountaintop with the cross didn't seem that far. I would have just kept going myself. It was still light out, whatever.
With a cross.
But that cross, when they saw that, wow.
Loved
it. It was also the magical, like, long burning cross because, again, it's been burning for about a week now. No, it hasn't.
Jamie had to have his whole regalia washed and prepped. So it's been burning.
I'm going to say that cross has been burning for at least a day at this point. Like, that's some, like, Duraflame right there. Okay.
Who left the cross burning?
Okay, we're back. We're at the big house. The men are assembled. Bree, Roger, and Ian come rolling in, and they're just like, I mean, Jamie's surprised, but he's kind of like, he's too occupied to even, like, be like, wait, you're back? Yeah, okay, your mother's gone.
Oh, hang on.
What?
Hang on, because we have passed it. That really cool, like, she had the long hallway in her dream.
Right.
He had the long hall where everyone's standing there ready to go.
Oh, with the carport.
And he's coming out. Jamie's coming out. And he looks at Fergus. And he's like, looks at Fergus. And Fergus is like, and I had such a feel of wonder because that's how it should be. Jamie and Fergus. They work so well together. They know each other like the back of their hand. Oh, no pun intended. The two of them are just like, bam, 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 bam. You go, yeah. Oh, great. And Jamie gets out, and all I can think of is that Jamie's thinking, like, God, it wasn't Roger. And then he walks through, and there's Roger.
Oh, Roger.
Oh, what are you doing back?
Now, he knows Roger can kick butt now.
I know.
He
I'm
knows.
a wise guy. In fact, I have something to say about Roger coming
Oh, I
back.
do too. So Bree wants to go, and Jamie's like, yeah, no, that's not happening. And Josiah wants to go, because he, like, you know, he's good with the gun. He's a good shot. And then Roger wants to go, and I forget whether Jamie, like, pushes back a little bit, but Roger says some speech, and he has never been hotter than when he gave some speech about, like, you know,
same thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean the same thing. I thought, this is the hottest Roger has ever. I can't believe you just said that, because that's exactly what. First of all, I'm crying and I'm yelling at my TV. What do I have here? I have to read my notes. First, back to the Fergus thing. When Jamie gave a look to Fergus, thought he was thinking, thank God I'm not dealing with Roger right now. Cried like a baby when Roger pledged his troth to Jamie. Oh my God. I'm yelling, yeah, that's right, yeah. And then I thought, damn, Roger, this is the hottest you have. How old are you? If I ever make my way out to the set somehow.
Yeah, Roger's never been hotter. He's never been hotter.
Oh my God.
What?
Keep going.
What?
No, I had that written down, but keep going.
All right. So yeah, Roger's never been hotter, and then, you know, you just have a little montage of them getting ready, and Ian's like painting the war paint on, and you were like, okay, we are gonna get. I feel it in my bones. We are gonna get the kick-ass, take no prisoners Ian that we wanted during the capture of Stephen Bonnet, but did not get. I'm feeling it already. He is war painting himself up.
I was yelling, oh yeah, Ian, you go. I was so happy. He was like, and I was like, yeah, put it on. Oh my God. It was awesome. It was awesome.
It was so great. You just knew. I mean, the reasons why they had to do this were just awful, but like, damn, you just got some like good, you know, shaking up the can of whoop ass that was a coming, and you just knew it was. So they go back to the mid-century modern fab for a bit, and then back to the camp. And
Jamie, that's when Jamie's dancing with Claire with her head on his shoulder. And I wrote something down I can't repeat. Because that was the closest we're ever going to see to Jamie Fraser being in mid-modern times. Forget leading up to now in the episode, because he's just been in her dream, but he's still Jamie from the 18th century.
Right.
But in this, he's doing something more modern day. Right. They're not going to stand together with her head on his shoulder and sway in the 18th century. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Not to music. I mean, they might do that. They might just stand like they might stand there like that without dancing.
Not to dun 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 dun.
No, I mean they would have to dance like you know, like the little
my love.
Actually, we really should be going like this. I don't even know how he would do it. Like, do I turn to the left and you turn to the right?
I don't know, but this is looking very Poldark. Go this way, that way.
Okay.
All right.
So then the cavalry has arrived.
Yeah. I need to figure out if you think it or not.
Say this again, because I'm having a coughing fit.
Cavalry has arrived. Anything but strike you interesting about that?
Oh my God, what didn't strike me interesting about that? The whole, I mean, you know, Claire.
Anything missing?
Yes, but I'll get to that. I'm gonna do the good. Yeah. Well, what do you think is missing? The Gaelic? Oh, well, yeah.
I lost my shiz. I was like, entire scene is the drums.
I know.
The entire scene is the drums. She hears them, they hear them, and she's like, oh boy, y'all gonna get a whooping now. I mean, the drums are everything. Why did they skip the drums?
Okay. Well, to your point,
if Jamie took the time to get in full regalia, why would they skip the drums?
Okay. Let's talk this through, because there's a lot of levels and there's a lot of things to break down here. So, to your point, if they're going with TV Claire is half in and half out of consciousness, she's not maybe going to have that coherent thought of like, what's that sound? Oh, it's drums off in the distance.
Don't care because they would have heard them.
So I get, but having said that, I do think that that could bring her back into consciousness to hear, maybe instead of she and Jamie dancing, maybe there's some sound in the 60s that's like a drum-like sound, and you're hearing it in the 60s, and then you're hearing it here, and then you're hearing it in the 60s, and then you're hearing it here. But it goes, that goes back to something that I was thinking about a little bit, that's kind of an overarching issue, I would say, and it's just a choice that they've probably made in the show, and maybe it's easier to do in the book than it is in the show, which is that I don't know what that is.
I had to play one. How do you say it, bodhran?
Yeah. The Scottishness of it all is felt way more strongly in the books than in the show. I feel like the show has kind of dialed way back on the Scottishness of everything.
Except for Jamie's full regalia. And I mean, like, okay. That's great that he's wearing a kilt. Was anybody else wearing a kilt? I don't know.
But but that's so okay. So maybe that's why it didn't surprise me not to get that. Just like we didn't get the Gaelic, but I'll get to that. Because the show overall has dialed way back on the Scottishness of everything, in my opinion. It's a choice they've made. It's fine, whatever. Nobody ever speaks Gaelic. I mean, he'll throw in a whatever he calls her, like, once in a while. I mean, I didn't remember the drums, but I think it's a really good point. Roger, I think, is playing the drum, and that's what Claire hears Claire hears it, and so she knows they're coming. For me, the thing that was missing, and I knew it was going to be missing. I knew it was not going to be there. So it wasn't like a huge disappointment, but it was still sort of a disappointment. But again, it speaks to the Scottishness of Jamie. In the TV show, certainly you don't realize this. English is not Jamie's first language. Gaelic is Jamie's first language.
I thought he was going to, like, at one point, did you think he was going to just, like, launch into it? I did, and then I was literally surprised when he was speaking English.
No, I never thought he was, because they don't make a point in the show they don't make this point. Again, it's like the Scottishness of everything is just dialed way back. In the books, it's a big point that's made that, when Jamie is really, I mean, and it makes total sense. When Jamie is really excited or, kind of like in war, or in battle, passionate about something, he's going to speak in the language that comes to him naturally, which is Gaelic. That makes total sense. And anybody is going to, when anybody is really, stressed or has adrenaline like that, they're going to use their native tongue. So, in the books, Jamie, when he sees Claire, what comes out is Gaelic. Like, the whole, like, are you alright? I forget if the whole you are, you know, you are well, you are whole.
You are whole.
And Claire, I mean, Claire doesn't really speak Gaelic, but she can, at this point, she's been with him long enough, she understands a decent amount. So,
right.
I forget if he says that in Gaelic, but he can't help himself. He's just like, blah, 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 all in Gaelic, because, you know, again, he's just so upset and you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, ready to ravage. So they didn't do any of that, and like I said, it didn't surprise me. You know, what are they gonna do? Like, I didn't think it was gonna happen, but again, that combined with the lack of the bodhrans, or is it bodhran?
I think it's bodhran.
You know,
this is like when we were calling poor Sam Hugan.
Hugan. Yeah. So, you know, it's less about the Scottishness and more just about, you know, these, like, you know, badass posse of Jamie's, you know, posse, you know, killing everybody. It's okay.
I'm never going to be okay with it, because how hard would it have been to have 10 seconds, 5 seconds of one of those creepy guys going, what's that? And hearing boom, 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 boom. I mean, honest to God, how hard. Where was Bear McCreary? Bear McCreary was probably, I wonder if this ever came up. I don't know. But that was what I knew from this scene, was the drums.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait. I thought, well, this is going to be god-awful that I have to watch this, but at least we're going to get that awesome, the drums come. I mean, it reminds me of Tom yelling, Jamie Fraser is a warrior. Where were the drums?
And this was a battle.
Hard would it have been to play the bodhran when they were, and have them go, do you hear something? What is that? You know what I mean?
Right. Right. This was, you know, in the books, this was a battle. This was not some sort of like stealth, you know, stealth operation in the night where they, like, you know, this was like
the Paoli massacre.
You know that we are coming to kill you. That's what it was like in the book.
Yeah.
In the book, they wanted those
to know,
the Browns et al. To know that they were effed, that the cavalry has arrived.
And I just, usually I'm like, I get it. I don't get it. There's no reason why they couldn't have incorporated drums into that scene.
It certainly wasn't a factor of time, since this episode was 51 minutes long. Just saying. Maybe it did happen, but Claire didn't hear it. She was, like, too out of it, and she just spoke up when they were all fighting. Anyway, let's talk about the good, because there was plenty of good in this scene. So the cavalry arrives. Claire wakes up in the middle of it, and let's just talk. Can we just please talk about badass Ian?
That's another thing. You had Jamie in full regalia. You had Ian with the war paint. This is what I'm saying. Play the frickin' drums. Ooh.
I just wrote down, now we know why he didn't break out the tools for the bonnet takedown, but so that he can be his full-on badass mohawk tomahawk-tossing self in this scene. And he was so great. He's so great. When he's like wielding two of them, and then as if
I need to go back and watch it again. I never say that.
We got that.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah.
I was like, at that point, I was honestly, like, yes.
I need to go back. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I need to go back and watch this scene again. I really do. Because I was like, what? And I was trying to take notes.
I know.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah,
it's really hard to
8
watch it only
yeah,
once.
8 p.m. On Saturday. Thank you.
I know. Whatever. If this recap is not as good as normal, like, that's why.
Yeah.
So, and then Fergus takes them down with one hand. Literally takes guys down with one hand.
I don't even know what I was doing, how I'm missing a lot of what you're saying, but I did. So I need to go back and watch it again.
Here's what you were doing. Where are the drums? Where are the drums?
You're right, Tracey. That's a great point. It's like the Scottishness. But I'm looking at Jamie in his kilt and like the full on, like, why not?
I know. Starz, like, okay, that's not really Starz. It's Outlander production team. Jamie in a full regalia kilt does not Scottishness make. You can't just slap a kilt on Jamie and be like, we're Scottish now.
And not that I'm complaining, because that's how I'd rather see him. Although, like I said, if you're on, you just, let's go! And like, it didn't seem like a week went by before they actually, like, went to go find her.
Yeah, I mean, I think it probably... I think they were searching for a week or a couple of days anyway. I don't think they just, like, got there in a second.
Bree and Roger got back, and they were at the ridge.
I know.
Getting ready to go.
I know, but I'm guessing that was probably, like, hours later, from when they found out that she had been taken.
It was. This is what I'm saying.
Right. So
kind of like, time might be of the essence.
Right.
Might want to hurry up.
Right, but I mean, like, so they had, like, a day. They were like a day behind them, right? Ish.
Okay.
So, how long was Claire gone for? Total 3 days.
I don't know.
I don't even know why I was like thinking about that. Whatever. Okay.
Didn't know.
Okay. So, all right. So this is where Jamie is like, you are well, you are whole, you are important, you are whatever it was. And I did miss it in Gaelic, but I already said that. But then, the men are like, we killed a bunch of them, but there's still a few alive. Claire, John Quincy Myers hands her the knife, like, it's up to you, it's your kill, and Jamie's like, she has sworn an oath to, like, she can't, like, kill anyone in her defense. But I have not sworn that oath. I kill for her. And then they're all like, and I kill for her, and I kill for her, and I kill for her. It was so great. Then that happens. That's right out of the box.
You get a car.
And you kill for her, and you kill for her.
You get a kill.
And then Jamie, and then they're like, Jamie wants to know from her, like, who, name, give me names. And she's like, I don't know. Who the hell knows? And he says, kill them all.
I've been dying to say that.
I know. So I do have to know, like, so they didn't kill them all out, because clearly, like, Lionel Brown, So what exactly? I thought they were like shooting them and slitting their throats.
I didn't understand. Out of all of them, why are you leaving him?
But I mean,
what was the point? What were they going to do with him?
I don't remember in the books if they go to kill them all, but then they're like, no, leave him because we're bringing him back because they want to know, like, what the deal was. They want to know their plans. Now, again, in the books, I don't remember what the plan is, but the plan is, involves a lot of other things.
Oh, there's a plan, and it involves other things. It involves the things. All right? There's a plan.
I think
there's things.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I don't know.
But
I don't
it's
know.
like
other
plot elements. In this, supposedly, again, unless Lionel Brown was lying, it was all about, like, you have been, like, leading our women astray, and we're dragging you back to Brownsville so that you can tell them who you really are, and then
So
we'll all have our way with you, you wanton hussy. I don't know. Like, I don't. That's as far as what their plan was. But it's decided that they're going to take Lionel Brown back to the Ridge, and beat it out of him what the plan really was. But I think in the books, I don't honestly remember if maybe they don't kill him on purpose so that they can get some information from him.
I don't know.
But in the show, somebody just didn't do their job and kill him. He didn't get killed good. He was still alive. Whatever.
You didn't kill him real good.
You didn't kill him good because he's still alive. So they're gonna take him back with them. And there's a little scene with Claire and Jamie that again is pretty much right out of the book, except this is the part where she resets her own nose. And it's told from Roger's point of view, and Roger just describes the two of them together, and Jamie, this is a really good book. Breath of Snow and Ashes is one of the best books in the series, and that scene is a great scene that Roger's just kind of describing seeing the two of them across a field, like maybe Jamie is like bathing her or something. I don't know.
Yes.
It's
in fact, I was a little disappointed we didn't get that. They were just sort of by the babbling brook.
Right.
Yeah, I was bumming that. I wanted to see that.
Okay. So they get back
and why not? Why not? Even just to see it for 5 seconds, to see them off in the distance.
Well, you did see them off in the distance. I mean, you saw them.
No, they're just standing. They're just sitting there. Standing. She's standing. I'm like, oh, Lord, let her lay down. But no, I think it would have been lovely to just see them, have Roger have seen them off in the distance, and it's obvious that he's bathing her. Oh, perfection. That would have been awesome. And why not? Why not?
Okay, so we're back at the big house. Claire is like, oh, Roger, Bree, hi, you're back. Great. Awesome.
Yeah, Claire's like, oh, I really, you know what? I have to be honest with you. This was a point when I felt I was like, here it comes. She was going to be getting out of the coach or the wagon and here comes Bree. And I have to tell you that I kind of felt, I understood. I felt it because I thought, I know what this is like to be dead inside and not be able to give a shit about the people you're closest to and not be able to. I said, Bree didn't go through the stones, and Claire would be like, Bree, why are you still here? And I said, I know what's going to happen. And exactly, Bree was just like, and she was just like, ugh.
But she was, I mean, she almost reacted more strongly to Marsali. She did finally grab his little face. And yes. I was like, all right, Claire. Geez, that's the daughter. She's only your fake daughter. That's not your real daughter. Wow. She's like, no, Marsali,
we
Bree.
know get over there. I'm talking to Marsali. Clearly, we know who sparks joy with Claire. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, seriously, I did expect it from Claire. She did give Bree a second, a beat, a moment of attention. You know what I mean? Where
right.
Bree was talking to her. But I thought to myself, you can't make yourself especially when you're a person who's, hey, when you're like that, nah. Here comes Bree's pregnant self again. Doesn't it seem like, I mean, Marsali, doesn't it seem like Marsali goes from not pregnant to real pregnant in 5 seconds?
It was 5 seconds because, at this point, maybe a month has gone by, 5 weeks. Because they talked to Bree about it before she left. And if it took Bree 2 weeks to get there and 2 weeks to get back, Yeah, so it's at least a month has gone by. And maybe, maybe Marsali just shows really early. Third sister Jill, like, egg meets sperm, and she looks 9 months pregnant.
Did Bree... Sorry, Jill. You were just cute and...
No, Jill was...
Did she watches these?
I know.
Did Bree...
But not this far in.
Did Bree help Claire with the bath in the books?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because am I correct that Jamie first down by like the river?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
But Bree, I don't think Bree gives her a bath. I think she washes her hair, but it's not in the bath. But she washes her hair special.
And leaves her there.
So they've tied Lionel up in the surgery because they want to know what the Browns are up to. But I mean, again, we know what they were up to. They didn't like that she was wrong. I don't know. The lack of a real plot, unless maybe no, I don't think we'll find out now. Although I guess we will, because by the end, the other Brown was like, well, I get why you did what you did, and you'll just have to get what I'm going to do one of these days when I finally do it. So anyway, okay. So then Jamie and Claire, were talking, and that was a great scene. Jamie is like, I know what this feels like. I've been there, and she's like, you know what? You don't.
She's like, talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand, and then she
was in no mood.
I like how she is the one that gets herself out. It's not like Jamie says something that she's like, "You're right, Jamie. I need to step out of it." She's right. Like, fuck everyone. Right. I can hear Tom saying like, "I have lived through the World War." And the year of our Lord.
Oh, he was always about the year of our Lord. The year of our Lord.
And 2 husbands and but she does. She's like, you know what? I am a woman. Hear me roar.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh my God, so funny. So funny. She tells him, she's like, you know what? No. I have been through all this shit. I've lived through too much already. I am not going to be shattered by this. I am not. And
I get that too.
She is willing herself out. I mean, it's not that easy, as we see later on when she has full-on breakdown, like outside, the door or the bedroom or whatever, wherever she is. Right. But she's bound and determined. I'm not going to let this break me. Yeah. So good on Claire. But that was a great scene. I mean, the two of them. I mean, that was her moment of. Katrina was. Let's just say right now, Katrina was just fantastic in this episode.
Oh my God, she always is.
Oh, I know. No, but she was. I mean, she had to just do so much in this episode, and wow, she was really good. Okay, so now we're at the cabin. Bree and Roger are talking. Roger needs to tell Bree what happened.
And I have Roger. You have not happened. Me. I thought about the Stay-Puft Marshmallow Man. Like he's about to confess to her, and I'm thinking, he's going to tell her he was really thinking about the Stay-Puft Marshmallow Man.
No, he doesn't want to confess about that. He needs to tell her about his kill, that he killed someone. I was like, hasn't he already killed someone?
I thought the same thing. I was like, dude, you're not keeping score very much because I think you've already done.
Alamance, I think he must have killed somebody. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it is the first time he killed somebody. I have to go back and read that part. I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe it was. Okay. So we're at the surgery now, and Lionel friggin' Brown is being a douchebag of epic proportions here. First of all, he's like, have mercy on me.
My God, I literally had the dickhead is lying there and she won't hurt him. Like, have How could she possibly? How could she possibly?
Because she has an oath, Carol. An oath. She took an oath.
How could she be in the same room with him? Why would they want her to? Why would they let her? I thought that was creepy. Creep.
So Marcy's just great. Marcy's basically like, oh, shut up, douchebag.
I love Marcy.
Marcy was so great. So Claire has her make up some medication, and then she starts to get this knife, and then she drops it, and she's like, okay, and she leaves, and she goes upstairs, and this is where she just breaks down, because this whole like, I will be strong, I will get over this.
It's not as easy as
it's not as easy as it looks now. Not when you got your rapist like sitting in the surgery, ready to get.
Welcome to lightning loops, honey, because it's a roller coaster, and 1 minute you're up here, and the next minute you're down here, and the next minute you're back up here, and then the corona apocalypse hits. Oh, girl, I got you.
Now and I don't remember how this goes down in the books. Like, does she know Lionel Brown is? Does she know Lionel Brown is that they like kept him, that they brought him back?
I didn't even remember.
I remember. It's not Marsali. Somebody does kill him in the book, and I won't say who. Oh, I might as well, because they're not like that big a character in this series.
And what she leaves out, and they show you the label. She leaves it out. She says it's happening right in front of me, and she says something to Marsali, and she leaves it out.
What, the hypodermic?
No, she leaves out the stuff in the jar.
Oh, it's like
she
kind of wanted her to make a tea of something. I assumed it was for Brown, like as a medication. But Marcy's not making that tea. Marcy's making her own special Marsali tea.
And now, why is 60s Claire picking up the orange? Because she's thinking about killing him.
Yeah. Like in the 60s, you would use a knife to cut an orange. Now,
but then she takes the orange and she walks away because she wants an orange.
She wants an orange. Because I want an orange. So she leaves. She goes upstairs and she falls apart, as we said. So now we're back in the surgery with Lionel and Marsali, and Lionel is being a complete douchebag.
And wait a minute. Claire takes off, and Marsali just sort of like does this and sees Claire, like hears Claire take off behind her, and is thinking she's never like this. She's never, ever, ever. She's Claire. She doesn't do this. And Marsali's just sort of like, and they show Claire go up the stairs, and that's when Marsali.
Well, is it when, like, I have a couple questions about this. At what point does Marsali decide to do this? That's my first question. Second question is, what does she give him, and does she have to, like, does it take a lot of time to prepare, or is she, like, making the tea, the legit tea, and he's yammering on, and he finally just pisses her off, and she's like, yeah, you know what, fuck you. Where's my hypodermic? Yeah, I didn't take an oath. Boom. Like, or has Marsali decided to do this at the first opportunity way before?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a little of all of the above. I think it started when Claire took off and she realized, this is Claire Fraser losing it. Claire. And she kind of like looks like this. And that's when sort of she goes over and she starts messing with the tea, and then he starts yammering, and then that's it. She's like, let's have a talk, you and me.
And she was so great. I mean, Marsali is, if you're going to give most valuable player, she gets it this season. She's the most valuable player of season 5. She is. And Marsali has just hit a home run every single scene she's been in, with the possible exception of that tarot card scene. But through no fault of her own.
And did you notice something interesting about this scene?
What?
About the way she kills him?
With the hypodermic?
the one that they had to.
The one that he broke to begin with?
Because he broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was fantastic.
That's very interesting.
With it,
that's very interesting. Was it, now, he broke it, or, I'm assuming he did, because I think any crazy thing that has done by Brian Brown is done by Lionel and not the other one. I don't remember the other name. Not Crazy. Crazy Brown, not Crazy Brown. Remember
Nicer Brown. I wish I could remember why I know Nicer Brown. I know him from something.
Oh, from the actor, you mean?
Yeah, I don't know if it was Turn. He was in something. He had a big part in whatever it was. I'm like, was it The Patriot? I can't remember.
We could look it up, but we'll see.
I think I kind of remembered it recently, and then it went right back on out of my head. And then Marsali's sitting on the ground.
Now you're making me want to find out. Here, just talk about something for 2 seconds while I do that.
So Marsali's sitting on the ground in the surgery, and Jamie comes in, and she's all kinds of wigged out because of what she just did. And Jamie basically tells her, don't worry about it.
But I did love that part. I did love that part where she's like, will he haunt me? Am I going to hell? And Jamie's like, hell no.
Hell no. Haven't you met Claire? She'll tell you all about how you're not going to hell for that. Yeah. So, and then Jamie, oh my God, Jamie pulling the horse with Lionel's body hanging over it.
Oh my God.
By himself. This is what I noticed, you guys. By himself. He goes and takes the body. And it was like, I was sitting there like, was this something he needed to do alone? Nobody else? This is mine? Like, oh my God, it was fantastic. And he was like he was the warrior. He was this great big warrior coming through town on the horse, pulling the other horse. And then I loved the way he takes Lionel from over his shoulder and goes, bam! Here's your trash. I put your trash.
I'm taking out it's trash day here at the Ridge. Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, and Lionel's brother. Did you find it?
Yes. All right. So, wait, is it Lionel or Lionel's brother that you want to know?
Brother.
Oh, all right. Keep talking for a second.
He's absolutely. I don't know if it's Turn Washington Spies, but I know him big time from something, and it's driving me insane because I can't figure it out. But so okay. Jamie goes Chris in Larkin. And talks to him, and you think he basically gives off the feeling that he understands.
Is it Black Sails?
What?
Black Sails?
Oh, it's Black Sails.
I'm looking to see if there's anything else that
I can't remember which one he was in Black Sails. I got to watch that to see. Oh, Jamie's like this. Jamie, ooh, because when he says, I don't remember how he words it, but basically like, okay, I understand. My brother's a complete douche, and what he reaps, he sows. And then you're kind of like, oh, all right, cool, he gets it. And then Jamie turns around to go, and he's like, but I'm going to come at you. I'm going to come at you like a spider monkey.
As will I when the time comes.
Jamie turns around and goes, look, that's fantastic.
He's like, bring it. Bring it.
Yeah, bring it. That's exactly right.
And then you get some Jamie narration, which is rare. I think we've had some Jamie narration maybe once before, but and this was what you heard like in the previews for this episode. And what I love about this is it's like Jamie doesn't sound like himself. He sounds like
I was like, is that Sam?
His voice is deeper and it's more serious and it's more
yeah.
So Roger and Bree are walking to the big house, and they're not sorry about not going back to the future.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Claire and Jamie talk about what's coming, and then Jamie says what is the last line of The Fiery Cross, Book 5. So we do have a little bit of Book 5 in this episode, which is something along the lines of, like, if it is my time to go and my last words are not "I love ye," no, it was because I did not have time. And I really have to say, I loved how he said that. Like it made more. That's something that to me worked better in the show than in the book. That line just was sort of a goof throwaway in the book. It was really meaningful, I thought, in the TV show. Well, that scene was great. It was great. It, like I said, that's a pretty well known last line of the book. But I thought it. However, Sam read it, like said it a certain way. Like I always in the book I heard it as like I didn't have time because I had to like run off to war or something like that. In the show, it sounded like I wasn't able to say it. Like I died before I wasn't able to say it. In the like in the book, again, my visualization is like, oh, they're calling me, gotta go, bye. You know. Oh shit! I'm getting pulled to war.
I think the point maybe is more just that there'd be absolutely like there's no way that wouldn't be my last words to you.
Right.
And if it's not, make sure you know that it's just because like I wasn't able to.
Right, because I had a heart attack and just dropped dead.
Yeah, not
Whatever.
because I wasn't feeling that.
Right.
So hearing that made me feel great. Like I was like, I don't know, it was the first episode
right.
in the whole season that I was like, yeah.
Yeah. No, it was that was great. It was really great. Sam like made me understand the lines in a way that I didn't when I read them. So there you go. So then it's that night, and you can tell that they have just done it. I will say in the book,
I wasn't sure. I can't tell anything. I could just tell that they were intimate. They were laying there.
Well, okay, maybe I know. Maybe I'm reading into it because I know what happens in the book. In the book, it's a very after the incident, there's a lot of discussion between Jamie and Claire. It's not easy for them, okay? And Jamie gets it into his head, like, the only way we're going to get over this is to do it. And Claire's like...
Yeah. Because he remembered.
Yeah. Yes.
He remembered.
Yes.
He remembered.
Remember back to season 1 when Jamie...
And the bear grease.
Yes, when Jamie goes to Claire finally, and she's like, are you sure you're all right with this? And he's like, no, I think I probably will like drop dead in the middle of it, but I have to do this. Yes.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Jamie knows what's needed, and he knows that is needed. And in the book, there's like a big, long, like, I feel like it's like 100 pages of them just talking. And they're like, well, let's get drunk because, this is really sucking and really like horrible, so they drink a lot. And they do finally, whatever, they do finally do it. But what was so interesting, let's see if you got this. Did you find anything interesting about the two of them? And how, visually, how they looked?
Oh. Hang on, now I'm the one looking it up.
It reminded me of something.
All right, it's on pause. I'm looking.
Image of them.
Oh!
What?
Yoko!
They're so John and Yoko.
Yeah.
Which totally, brings home this whole 60s...
Ringo Starr.
Ringo
60s.
Starr.
Yeah.
Yup.
Uh-huh.
Yup.
Yeah. I like that.
It was very that cover. It was, totally that cover. which was very interesting.
Boy. You want to talk about Tom would have gone on. Tom, you know, he was a big, huge Beatles fan, and he thought Yoko totally broke up the band. Don't ever get Tom talking, even posthumously, about Yoko Ono.
Carol, like, you can feel it from the mantle, like.
Oh, if you brought up Yoko Ono, you better run.
Yeah, no, and that was just, you know, I thought it was a really interesting way to end the season. It was a really interesting, it was a bold way to end the season, if I will. And I like where they've ended the season because in the books, like, okay, so they've done it, but clearly things are not like, okay, you know, we had sex, great, we're back to normal now. You know, clearly they're not. Like, I really do kind of wish I could see this image again, because I think, like,
it's not. No.
Yeah. They're not, you know, they're not out of the woods yet. We know that. But in the book, you know, there are points where you're like, are they going to make it? And up, you know, you've gone through 5 books, 5.5 books, whatever. I never even doubted that. But this is why this horrible incident that happens, and it's about 25%, it's about a quarter of the way through the book. Why it's a catalyst for, like, a lot of really interesting Jamie and Claire relationship dynamics. And I think you see that happen in the latter part of this episode, and you see where we might go with it in the next season. We've never had to explore the Jamie and Claire relationship. I mean, we saw it happen. It seems like, a lot of times it seems like, you know, they're like, you know, totally like the perfect love, and like, you know, can never be parted and whatever. But like, shit happens. Shit happens. Bad things happen to good people. And like, seeing them struggle in terms of their relationship. I mean, I guess maybe they did a little bit when they were in Paris, during the Faith days. That was probably the only other time we've really seen their relationship struggle. But, you know, it's a struggle here because of what's happened.
I want more of that. Oh, I love that.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, it's interesting. It's way more interesting to watch.
When he got out of jail, and she got him out of jail, and he showed up yelling,
beard.
"Never another!" Listen, I have to be honest with you. Could be wrong. I was wrong about Bree and Roger. They didn't go anywhere. But I kind of feel like I don't think it's gonna. I don't think they're gonna do that.
You think they are just like?
Mm-hmm. I think they showed this, and I think now they're going to move on. I think they don't have the time in the show to get into the dynamics of their relationship anymore. And especially with all of the question of how many seasons they're going to go, you know, at the end of this, I was like, is there going to be a season 7? So you don't know what they're going to wrap up. I don't know. I just don't think there's the time.
It just gives it a dynamic that there's like, you know, where maybe there's a little bit of a wall there where there wasn't before.
Do you ever talk to anybody about the books, and they're not a book? They don't read the books. They just watch the show, and they're like, "Should I read the books?" Now, most people, you're going to say, "Of course, it's Diana Gabaldon." But every once in a while, you get someone, and you're like, No, you shouldn't read the books, because they're not going to appreciate
Jill
all of it. Yeah, Jill's probably fun. Okay, Jill's exactly who I'm talking about. But they're going to see it as get to the point. I don't have, you know what I mean? Whereas not the rest of us. but most people, Diana Gabaldon fans, not Outlander fans, not the show fans, Diana Gabaldon fans are going to go, oh, I love when it's so descriptive and it goes on for 10 minutes about, I mean, she not makes fun of herself, but she jokes around about the way she writes, tells that story about the supermarket when you see her speak, and it's so cute. And she goes on and on and on. And then when she gets to the punchline, it's basically like making fun of herself for, but that's why we love Diana Gabaldon, because she's so descriptive. And there are just some people who, that's how I feel about this in the show. I just think there are too many big things that they need to get to that they're not going to really be able to delve into. Maybe, I think you'll see a little bit of it, a little maybe ribbon here and there, but you know what I mean? I think they have bigger fish to fry.
It all depends on how many more seasons, how longer it's going to. If this happens, if this is the last season, if season 6 is the last season, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many more, if season 6 is the last season, they can't get into some storylines that maybe they would if they had another season to do, because those storylines might go on for a season or two.
Right. Okay.
Like, I mean, honestly, to me, and this isn't really a spoiler per se, but, I am going to say this, like, these, we're waiting for book 9 right now, okay? Okay. And we are somewhere in the first third of book 6 in the show. So we're starting to hear the rumbles of the Revolutionary War, but we're not there yet. I think Lexington and Concord has happened. I think we're pretty sure of that. But no Declaration of Independence has been signed. And when you think about it, if you do the math and you think of like a third of the way through book 6, and we still have all of book 7 and all of book 8 and all of book 9 that's going to be like written, like going to be out, imminently. Like, are we going to even get to the Revolutionary War in the show?
Yeah. I would, if I had to guess, I would say, how there was a lot of breath of snow and ashes infused in this.
Yeah.
So this was like the Fiery Cross and Breath of Snow and Ashes.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I'd say we're headed right straight into Echo.
Possibly, but I probably would have to do a spoiler alert, because there's a lot of Echo that happens. I can't. Possibly. Maybe they'd skip. Maybe they could very well skip a big section of that. Boy, I don't know how they would do it. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna. I don't know. You know what? I don't even know.
I'll tell you one thing.
This is where it gets really tricky, you guys, because we start to, at this point, it's been a manageable storyline. We've been able to more or less tell the same stories that are in the book. Now we meet a lot of different characters, a lot more characters. All of a sudden, we have all these revolving storylines where, where we're looking at what's happening to 7 different characters at any given time. It gets more like Game of Thrones. If you've ever read the Game of Thrones books, each chapter is narrated or in the point of view of a different character. So the chapter is always the name of the chapter is always the character's name. So you'll get, Daenerys, and then it's all the stuff that's happening with Daenerys. She doesn't narrate it, but it's through her perspective or whatever. Then, Jon, Arya, whatever. But you know how there's 7 or 8 or 9 different perspectives there? You start to get that in Outlander too. And there's just so many storylines and so many characters. And the Revolutionary War is kind of running through all of it. But it's a real chore to strip out, whatever it is you're going to strip out of these last couple of books. It's not easy. It's not easy.
I don't think you're going to get all the characters I don't think you're going to get all of the situations.
I know.
I think they're sticking to what's good for TV. You know, and it's frustrating for us because, you know, like the Brownsville episode this season where you were like, oh my God, they took an entire episode talking about the Browns. You know what I mean? Whereas we're like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? But there's just, I'm guessing, just no way. It's too intricate. It's way too intricate to get into. So they probably have to pick and choose and say, all right, are we even going to be able to cover this? Nope. Then don't even introduce the character. I mean, I can tell you, I think we need a spoiler alert because I have things to say. I think we need a spoiler alert.
Let's do a spoiler alert.
Excuse me. Spoiler alert.
Josiah, what's his brother's name?
Kezzy.
I always hear.
Where is he and when are we getting that?
We're not getting him.
You don't.
I don't think we are.
Well, last week.
We're not.
Let me just tell you this. Last week, everyone was like, doesn't Lizzie look big? Like, that she could be pregnant? I don't know. I don't think we're getting any of that. I don't think we are.
I don't even know why they gave him a brother because I don't think we're going there at all.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know about the bugs. Like, what's happening with...
You know, it's Mrs. Bug that kills Lionel Brown. You remember that, right?
I honestly, now that you're saying it, I'm like, oh. So there's, you know, that's... I don't know what's going to happen with them. Are we even going to get to meet, what's the crazy's name? I want to say like Rachel or something. What's the kooky McCook pants? Not Rachel. Who's the crazy girl who accuses Jamie?
Oh, the Christies. That's what next season's going to be about. That's your story.
And you're going to have
you're going to have Claire really sick. Remember that? And
Malva
Christie is all out for Jamie.
Hair.
Yep.
Tonight for a second, when Jamie picked her up, I'm like, is her hair short? Did they cut to that already? Did they change it? Is her hair short?
Now it's gonna be all that Malva Christie craziness, and we're gonna get some of Ian's story too. I am really, really thinking that they are gonna end it after season 6 because don't forget in book 7, if they go to season 7, half of that is Jamie and Claire in Scotland. And don't they have a big hullabaloo, like, getting to Scotland? I think they've got, like, some crazy
You know what?
thing
We're
going to
get one episode. We're going to get one episode.
What, of them in Scotland? I don't think they're going to go back to Scotland. It's too much. It's too expensive. It's too expensive to, like, get all those sets again. And guess what? You know, Laura Donnelly, she's done with the show. She's done.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't even... If they were going to do that, I think it would be one episode. It wouldn't be any more. So you're right. Why are they going to spend the kind of money to... Well, I don't know, though. I don't know how easy or hard it is. They are in Scotland. So this is what I'm saying. I don't think we're going to have a lot of that stuff. I think we are going to jump straight into the monster.
I forgot about the whole Christie storyline. Okay? I totally forgot about that. But there's your season 6. That, to me, does it.
Isn't there more try-in stuff?
I don't think so. No, he's gone. He's up in New York now. Maybe they run into him in New York when they're up there. That's the other thing. Like starting in book 7, they're moving locations all the time. You know, they move to Philadelphia, and then Jamie is supposedly dead, and Claire marries Lord John.
Why do they move to Philadelphia?
Because I don't even remember. Fergus and Marsali go to Philadelphia to be printers.
I don't think that's ever going to happen either. Fergus is just too wild life. He needs to roam. When are we going to see Willie? That's what I want to know. We better start bringing Willie.
All right. Okay. Let's go back to non-spoiler. Let's take the spoiler alert off. Because I forgot that this was
something else to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. In spoiler? In spoiler? Okay. All right. Keep going.
Which book even is it? It's Echo. When Willie, it's a huge chunk of Willie. And the fire and it's Willie. Like, there's a huge chunk of, like you said, they're going back and forth from Willie to Ian to Jamie to, you know what I mean? Like, what are we? I don't know. I'm at a loss. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but we better start seeing Willie soon. All right. Thank you. Sorry.
All right. We're not in a spoiler anymore, but I forget what I know what it was. And wait, because I have to do this. Hold on. See, let's see if I can do this fast. I have to practice
I'm gonna do this
how to
too.
do this more.
I can put my glasses on too.
Wait.
I'm doing
Breaking Outlander news. No, breaking Outlander news. This week, Carol, did you see this? How David Berry tweeted something about last week's episode being his last episode on the Outlander.
And you told me you thought it was not right. You thought it was kidding.
I think that, maybe he means it's his last episode on Outlander season 5, or maybe he's just yanking our chain, because I can't imagine that he would be like, yeah, this is my last episode ever, not knowing anything about season 6, and not like Lord John is like so critical to season 6, but like
all he said was that it was his last episode. He didn't say it was Lord John's last episode.
Oh, they would never recast him. Come on. They're not going to recast him. No, they won't.
Well, we don't know what his reasoning is for leaving. Maybe he has some kind of family
he's leaving.
situation.
He never said he was leaving. He said it's his last episode. His goodbyes are hard, but maybe someday, someday we'll see him again or whatever. I don't think he knows yet about season 6. Like, maybe they've written a couple of scripts, but that's it. But I do have
Then
to
why
think,
would he make that announcement?
To mess with you.
Why?
He seems like an amiable chap. He seems like he could be a little joker. He's messing with our minds. I've heard that he's done that before.
When? Where? How?
I don't know. I don't follow this stuff enough. I just hear a snippet here and there. But there's just like I can't imagine that we would end this series without seeing Willie again. Maybe we would. I don't know. I can't predict anything anymore. All I know is we are officially have entered Droughtlander again. It's going to be a long Droughtlander because it's a long Coronapocalypse.
More collateral damage of Coronapocalypse.
And I just don't even know what to do with myself. I don't. I don't think we're going to get a new episode of Outlander before maybe 2021 if we're lucky. Like maybe fall of 2021. Maybe.
If didn't they say obviously no one's in production. Weren't they supposed to be in production right now?
They had a couple of scripts. Ready. If they weren't in production by now, I would think they would be in pre-production. So, maybe beginning of June, something like that. I don't know.
But why did I hear productions they're supposed to be in production and it's because everybody's, which means, it's already takes forever. I don't even think 2021.
It's possible. No, 2021. 2022. Oh my god, we're gonna be so old at that point. I don't know. So I think and I don't think
we're so old now.
I don't know that we'll get. I don't know when we'll get a word on. Well, I do think that by the time the beginning of season 6, by the time we get into the beginning of season 6, we'll know about moving on. And then we'll see what happens with season 6. We have a lot of great storylines to get to. Whether or not they're with Lord John, I hope so. I'm not a big believer in, like, a lot of people are talking about the Lord John spinoff. I don't think it'll happen, but, you know.
Do they think that's why he's...
Oh, I don't know. I can't imagine that I mean, I would love it, but I can't imagine that they're going to do a spinoff of the Lord John show. I don't think it's going to happen. But,
I mean,
you know,
Lord John...
prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, because that'd be great. All right.
Enough time.
I think it is time.
It is time.
To end this season, much as it pains us to do so. Oh, and that I did really love that last when the credits rolled, and it was just I think we talked about this before, but it was just the Skyboat song and the woman singing it, and it was just back to the one woman sing me a
haunting
song.
Voice. Yes,
and it's like with the thunder in the background of the storm.
Yeah.
So great. It was so great, and because I haven't been a big fan of that starting that they have now with the choir or the military band or whatever.
Right.
All right, you guys. Tell us in the comments what you think, what you thought of this episode, what you thought of the season, what you thought in terms of this being the capper of the season. I thought it was a great season. One or two little bumps in the road, but overall, I think probably a better season than last season. And some of the best episodes of the series in this season. So, great job by all. What else, Carol? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, which we forgot to say.
We always forget.
This may be the end of season 5, but we have nothing better to do. So, as is the case with the rest of the world, we have nothing better to do than make videos, and you have nothing better to do than watch them. So, maybe...
Or listen to them.
Or listen to them if we can ever, get our butts together to do some sort of podcast.
It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen.
Because we would love to talk about our other shows, too. I think I forget if I said this in the video or to Carol outside the video, but I'm watching Ozark, season 3 or season 4, whatever the most recent season is. I know you're watching Dead to Me.
I'm 5 episodes into season 2 of Dead to Me.
I will watch that maybe when Ozark is over. But yeah, we have a lot of shows that we're watching, and we always want to talk about those. And we tend to do a couple videos here and there, but maybe again we have nothing better to do. This is our lives. I do puzzles and I do videos. That's it. And I eat like a pig. And I drink a lot of wine. That's all I got. That's all I got anymore.
I do some stuff.
What do you do? What do you do? What do you do?
What don't I do? What, are you kidding?
What do you do? Like for fun, not like like make sure my kids are doing schoolwork.
I don't have time for fun. I don't have time for fun. I drink and do nothing.
I don't know. All right, you guys.
And let's hope that next time you guys see us, the allergy season will be.
Oh my God, I know.
Oh,
I cleaned my basement today, so all this is all allergies plus dust and dander from the basement. It's just disgusting.
Tracy, what are you doing in the basement?
We cleaned.
We're in the basement
because it was. You know why we were cleaning the basement today? Because today, May 11th, May 10th. May 10th.
Oh my God, I said it's the 9th. It's the
10th. Because it's tomorrow. Because it's midnight. It's 12:01.
Yeah,
oh God.
we started this on the 9th. My God.
So it was the 9th. On May 9th, 2020, in the year of our Lord, as Claire says, it was about 40 degrees in New Jersey, and it snowed. Thank you.
Yeah,
so that's why we were in the basement.
Social distance in Costco. Did I buy toilet paper? No, I bought pots for around my pool. Everybody's going to town on their patios because they know they're going to be spending a damn good amount of time on this summer. And, so, excuse me. I don't really know why I was so vigorously attacking that situation you were just talking about.
About the weather? About it being winter?
Oh, yeah. They're all in my house. They're all in my house. I had to bring them all in because it's going to be 36 degrees tonight.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding me?
Down is up,
Are you
up is
kidding?
down. That's it.
What
That's
the heck? I'm done. I'm so done. Like, really? What else?
I know. Only one plague at a time, people. Only one plague at a time.
Oh my God, you're not kidding. I thought the locusts were coming the other day.
Oh, I have the ants in my house too. You know how you always get those like big ants in the spring when it gets warmer and
Ew. Carpenter ants?
No, they're not carpenter ants, but they're not like sugar ants either. They're just those big ants and they live outside, but then it gets warm and they come in your house. So I have like the little ant traps all over the place. You might
be talking about carpenter ants, and if that's the case, girl, you better get outside.
Jill has the same thing. She said they're just those big spring ants. They're just gross, and it's like, I can't take any more than one plague at a time, people. No, I can't. I can't do it.
Well, I can't stand it with the murder bees.
Oh
Two of them were found in Cinnaminson or something.
This is why we need another podcast, just so that we can talk about the murder hornets. We just need a podcast like that. All right. We gotta go.
I want the not only aren't you supposed to murder the praying mantis, but they kill the murder bees.
We're at 2:30 right now.
Oh my God, how come it's always when I'm talking, Tracey checks the time and tells me exactly and does this?
Are you making fun of my eyesight?
And she does,
you making fun of me, Riz?
She goes.
All right. It's time to go. You guys, it's been a great season. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out online, myoutlanderpurgatory.com. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the usual places. And keep the comments coming. It's going to be a great summer, you guys, and we will be there. We will be there. We will be bound and determined. Maybe we can do a summer fun video like we did once upon a time, and there you go. That's all I know. That's all I got. All right.
Around the pool.
All right. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Good night, season 5. Good night, Good night, Chop Boy.
Good night, Mary Ellen.